I'd like to thank my family, my friends, my fellow scholars, and the Center for Scholars for always being there for me throughout undergrad. And thank you, Jamie and Kanitsa, for always being so welcoming and helping me get through a lot. It's been a rough semester and just a rough 4 years in general. So having you guys there along the way has been amazing, and I can't thank you enough.
I first want to thank my God Jehovah for helping me throughout this hard journey, and my parents and sisters, me and Haed, for giving me that emotional support. Thank you guys.
There are countless memorable experiences that I have had being a scholar. The one thing I'm going to remember the most, though, is being able to go to the center and always having someone willing to help me out with any problem that I had. The center is a place that always felt like so welcoming, and also genuinely felt like a place where everyone cared about the students. I'm going to remember going to Jamie and Kanitsa with any problem that came up, and them being able to provide all the help that was possible. I definitely saw a growth in my confidence thanks to support and advice they were able to provide. I would like to thank all my friends and family who helped me get through all the difficult times during my time at Cal State Fullerton. I would like to give a special shout out to Myra, who was always there for me whenever it came to those late night worries about homework or exams. I would also like to thank everyone at the center for always being willing to help me when any problem came up. I am extremely grateful for everyone at the center.
And what's coming up next after my time at Cal State Fullerton is getting my teaching credentials so that I can hopefully teach high school band in the future.
I would like to thank my parents and my sister for the unconditional love and support they have been giving me ever since high school and throughout my college journey. Without them, I wouldn't be where I'm at today, and I'm truly grateful for that. Thank you.
I just want to give thanks to my family, specifically my little sister, for always encouraging me and helping me when I was having a difficult time when I was a math major. And she was the reason why, or not the reason, but she was one of the reasons why I decided to change to child and adolescent development. I would love to thank my friends for always being there for me. They have been great support systems for me. And sometimes we talk about like educational stuff and we end up deciding and we helping each other. So I would like to thank them, specifically Catherine Montalonson and Catherine Burnaby. And at the Center for Scholars, I would love to thank Carla for, since you were new, I was kind of scared talking to you, but you were so nice and kind, and we always had these conversations about food, personal stuff, and, sometimes just talking about, like, difficulties in life, so I really appreciate that. And I would like to thank Kanita as well for, helping me after I found out that I wasn't able to go to grad school, so I really appreciate it. Thank you.
To my dear parents, I feel so honored and blessed to have you as my parents and want to express my gratitude for your care and support over the years. I am who I am today because of your effort, guidance, and support. You've inspired and encouraged me to be the best student I could possibly be. Any success I've had on campus has been a direct result of the values you both instilled in me at a very young age. So glad to have you both here with me today, witnessing and celebrating my success. I may technically be the first person in our family to graduate from college, but this degree is partly yours as well. My success is your success. Thank you so much for believing in me and supporting me. I will never let you down.
I would like to thank the people at home, like my parents, my grandparents, my siblings, who are always there for me, and like they support me with anything I need at home. And then I would also like to thank the Center for Scholars staff, who always made me feel comfortable, especially going in my freshman year I was honestly confused about a lot of things, but going in, I always felt comfortable asking questions, and they were always there for me, and they guided me through with a lot of things, and I felt I always had a safe space to go to during my breaks between classes. I always just had somewhere to go, and it was honestly really good for me. I would also like to thank the friends that I met there that are super close to me, and I know they will continue being super close to me. I made meaningful friendships, and I will always be grateful for everything that I gained throughout my 4 years with the Center for Scholars. Thank you.
What's next after CSUF? Well, after the credential program, which would take me about a year, I plan to teach. So we're still at CSUF after the bachelor's. Once done with the credential, we're going into teaching. So that's me.
First and foremost, I would like to give a very big thank you to my mom and my dad and my little brother and sister for being such an amazing support system and just for loving me and for cheering me on every single step of the way. I love you guys. You guys are so amazing. Then, of course, I would like to thank the entire Center for Scholars family for also being such a huge support system for me throughout my undergraduate experience, for being there when I needed to register for classes or had questions about what classes I was going to take or had questions about grad school, for just every single thing that they ever did for me during my undergraduate experience. You guys were all just a big community for me and a group of people that I can turn to whenever I needed help, and I'll never forget any of you guys. I'll miss you guys.
There are a lot of people I'd like to thank, and I'm just going to go ahead and read off the list here so I make sure I get everyone. Firstly, I'd like to thank Kenitsa, Danny, and Jamie for all the academic advising sessions I put them through. Anytime I was ready to freak out, they were always there to guide me every step of the way. I'd also like to thank Luis, who is my AFS peer mentor when I was just a freshman, and Catherine, who was the first face I saw when coming into the center, and overall just a kind and welcoming soul. I'd also like to thank Professor Rojas, who taught my AFS cohort in Read 101 and continued to mentor me even after I took her class. Similarly, thank you to Deanna for assigning me my faculty mentor, Professor Deborah Lockwood, who I'm still in touch with today. Lastly, I'd like to give a big thank you to Dr. Abrego for hosting this amazing program. It was all thanks to Dr. Abrego that I got to meet all sorts of wonderful people, and I can't imagine my college experience without AFS.
One of my most memorable Center for Scholar experiences is the annual Thanksgiving potlucks. I think I went to each one all throughout my 4 years of college, and that's where I made some friendships and connected with some staff.
One of the most memorable experiences I wanted to share was taking that Read 201 course with a lot of the scholars. I think it was so memorable because I not only got to learn about myself more, but also about my peers and those classmates. To this day, I'm still friends with, and I am so grateful for the opportunity to have that course and specifically take it with scholars, because I was able to build those relationships and the opportunity to grow together more and learn about other people's stories as well. So it was such a great experience taking that course with all these scholars. I can go through a long list of people to thank for my success in college, but the main reason I think I was successful as a Center for Scholars, the staff was always there for any struggle or question I had, and the peers as well were always there for any time I needed someone to talk to. And I think both academically and emotionally, they were there for anything, and I just want to take a moment and thank them, because I don't think I will be at where I'm at today without the Center for Scholars.
I would like to thank all the staff at Center for Scholars. Thank you for being so supportive and encouraging to everyone. And I would also like to thank Kenitsa. She has been my academic advisor for 4 years now, since I began back in 2018. Thank you so much, Kenitsa, for being so supportive and encouraging. And I would also like to thank my parents for helping me along the way. Thank you so much to everyone.
A scholar to me is someone who wants to continue learning, wants to always explore the world and understand it a little bit more, but not just for themselves, but for the greater good, for the community, for those people who might not have had the opportunity to further their education, or who might not find themselves comfortable in that type of environment, in the school environment. Just introducing them to everything, to knowing. Being a scholar is knowing and wanting to teach and wanting to become part of the greater good. Scholars are awesome. We are awesome. We did this.
After CSUF, I plan to pursue a career in marketing and sales, and then apply for a master's program within a year.
So one of the most memorable experiences as a scholar would be getting closer to midterms and finals, when the center would put up little quotes on the walls telling us, we can do it, we can get through finals. They would also provide us with little goodie bags with snacks. I always looked forward to going to the center just because I know I was greeted by wonderful staff. Thank you, Center for Scholars, for being so kind and generous and for providing us with many great resources. I want to also thank the Nicholas Academic Center and my parents.
Memorable experience to me as a scholar would have to be the Thanksgiving dinners, because I remember when I first started going to the Center for Scholars, the first Thanksgiving dinner I ever went to, I've met friends that are to this day my best friends from there, and I think that's one of the best feelings, is to be able to find your kind of group in college and stick with them all throughout your 4 years or however long it takes you. Being a scholar to me means being able to be supportive to my peers, to anyone, just as the Center for Scholars has been supportive to me all throughout my career. I want to be able to do that for somebody, being respectful, being compassionate, just being what the community of the Center for Scholars has been for me. I would like to thank all of the Center for Scholars staff, because they have been so supportive throughout my 4 years of college. I would like to thank for organizing events, for kind of giving us all these materials, all these resources for us to be able to just go in, and if we have any questions, they're always there to help us out.
I could not have done this without the support of the Center for Scholars and Nicholas Academic Centers. I appreciate all of the resources that were given to me, all of the financial help, emotional, mental help, and all of the advice. There were definitely times where I doubted myself, but being surrounded by very supportive individuals really means a lot. I would like to thank Kenitsa and Miguel for being there and just giving me inspirational words and motivation. I really appreciate that. I also want to thank my family for their support and guidance as well. Overall, I'm very grateful and I am very excited.
During the summer, I will be studying to obtain my CPA license, the Certified Public Accounting license, and I will be starting my full-time job in the audit service at Grant Thornton in September of this year. The people or the groups I want to thank during my years here at Cal State Fullerton is the Business Honors Program for really making it an easy role for me to take all of my business and concentration classes. I want to thank Center for Scholars because they helped me a lot in transitioning from high school into college and making my freshman year really easy for me. I want to thank Accounting Society. Through this student organization, I was able to land my internship and my full-time job at Grant Thornton. And lastly, I want to thank my parents and my friends, but mostly my parents, because they have gave me so much support and help throughout these years, and I know they've made sacrifices for me, and I really appreciate that.
After my time at Cal State Fullerton, I plan to continue on and go to nursing school. I would like to thank my friends that I met my first year. You guys really made learning really memorable. In regards to professors, I would like to thank Paul Wasserman and Mo Miller for encouraging me to pursue my career in criminal justice. In regards to staff, I would like to thank Kenitsa for always supporting me throughout my 4 years. Thank you guys.
After I graduate from Cal State Fullerton, I want to get my master's in physician assistant and work at the ER, maybe assist in surgery. I want to do this because eventually I want to go to med school, which I know it's really expensive, so I want to get my foot in the door first and save up money so I can have enough to get my PhD. I'm just really excited for that. So people I want to thank, I want to start with my mom because she's my rock, basically. She has made this journey for me so possible, because she just takes care of me, and it's just so much easier to go to school when you have someone who you can relate to. So that's pretty cool. I want to thank her and her support for encouraging me, to continue coming here. And I also want to thank the Center for Scholars for making this at Cal State Fullerton welcoming, because when I got here, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. So they were able to guide me and show me where the buildings are at and what are the things I can do. So it was more like a very welcoming place for me, and it has been. So thank you. I want to thank the Nicholas Academic Center because they have been there since I was in high school, and they had made everything possible for me. So and everybody, honestly, just thank you for all the memories and everything.
I would like to share a memorable experience I have from my time as a scholar. I'm sure most of us can remember this as well, and it was summer going into freshman year. We had that team building experience with the Center for Scholars. I remember going to this event, I was super nervous because I didn't know anyone, and although I'm super friendly and talkative, once you get to know me, when I'm going into something new, I'm a little bit shy. I really enjoyed this event because apart from the icebreakers, I got to meet a lot of the scholars that I'm still friends with to this day. I would like to thank the Center for Scholars, my siblings, my husband, and my parents for all of the support given to me throughout the 4 years at Cal State Fullerton. Gracias mamá y papá por todo su apoyo que me brindaron durante todos los años de escuela, especialmente estos últimos 4 años en la universidad. Los quiero mucho.
I'd like to thank my family for always being there for me, supporting me in every step of the way, and just encouraging me to do my best in everything. And I would also like to thank the Center for Scholars for guiding me these 4 years. Without them, I don't know where I would be because I came in clueless to university, so they really helped me out. And lastly, I would like to thank Kenitsa for always listening to me, encouraging me, and offering advice whenever I needed it the most. So thank you, everyone.
During my studies at Cal State Fullerton, I was part of 2 associations. One, the Finance Association, and the second one, Risk Management and Insurance Association. Along with that, I also received 2 scholarships. One, the Sun Scholarships, and the Risk Management and Insurance Scholarship. After graduating from Cal State Fullerton, I plan on working in the financial analyst field as well as the real estate, commercial, or residential industry. Also, I will be starting my master's in spring of 2023 with a concentration in finance. I would like to thank the Center of Scholars Department for being such a big part in my college education, really keeping track of my studies and making sure that I was on the right track. I would also like to thank my parents, of course. They were such a big support in my life, and they're one of the biggest motivations of what I do. Also, a really big thanks to my high school teachers who they also supported me. I have 5 teachers that I really always go back to, and I thank them from the beginning because without their support, really, I would think that going to college and graduating would be like a dream, but now it's coming into reality. Also, my brother and my sister, they're always a big support, and they always support me in everything that I do, and they encourage me to always move forward and do the best that I can.
I would like to thank my mom, my dad, and my sisters Brenna and Jessica for their constant love and support throughout my entire life. Without you, this would not be possible.
Hi everyone. I would like to thank my friends, my family, the Center for Scholars. I would specifically like to thank my boyfriend Steve for always being there for me, and of course the wonderful staff of the Center for Scholars, specifically Jamie, Kanitsa, and Darcy. More specifically, I would love to thank Darcy for, I think, changing my life and just providing me with so much support and help during such a rough time in my undergrad years. Your kindness will always stay with me and will never be forgotten. Thank you.
Memorable experience I have had as a scholar is the welcoming and inclusive environment that has been brought by the Center for Scholars. I believe that this environment has allowed me to feel understood and represented while I am on campus. I also believe that the benefit of being a scholar has also been very memorable, just because I have been able to obtain leadership opportunities, have been able to succeed as a college student.